Perhaps a late chance for Melbourne City. As one stinked over, and they do indeed score. Melbourne City right on the stroke of half-time. The ball was stinked over. Haven't quite picked up the goal scorer yet.
Stephen
Mork, who's remained down. Has been FFA Cup campaign and chasing the match. They might be caught short at the back. Kamau, they're lining up for Melbourne City. And finally the nail has been put in the coffin. It's Bruno Fornaroli who will ensure that Melbourne City go through to the round of 16. Locals' hearts have been broken by that latest goal from Melbourne City.
Ball's been set with the spray paint right at the edge of the penalty area. It is going to be Bratton swinging the ball in, an unmarked header, and the opening goal of the game. Don't be fooled by the lack of celebration. Jakobsen has scored, and Melbourne City do get the early goal, just 7.5 minutes. And Jakobsen has made it Melbourne City 1, Hakoah 0.
It's a great delivery, just poor defending. Two guys free on the far post. An easy header for him.
Able to roll through Oliver Green. Ball at the top of the box, Fornaroli. Out to the right, Arzani. What's his delivery like? Arzani in at the near post. Great save. It prevents an own goal, and on the goal line it's turned in by Fitzgerald. Melbourne City back in front. A luckless keeper very nearly had it put past him by his own defender, and they couldn't clear it out of the scramble. The last man to turn it over the line, Nick Fitzgerald.
That man Arzani, we talked about him earlier on, about taking players on. He's done great to get across him. Keeper, I thought he'd done well to save the first one, but
it is more a question of who. It is going to be Jamison, deflected off the wall. And the follow-up is rolled in. Genro does get Melbourne City their third. It looked like the danger may have been averted when it looped up off the wall, but Genro was quickest to react, sliding in and making it Melbourne City 3, Hakoah 1.
That's it. It was the reaction of the players from Melbourne City. Once the ball's hit the wall, they've all gone for it. And he's done exceptionally well to get this on the full.
So Bratton just whips it in first time. Stooping at the back post. Kamau! Now it's all going right for it. Bruce Kamau, just one goal all of last season, has the first goal in this entire A-League season, right on the stroke of half-time.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of bodies in front of him. Really good finish from Kamau. There's that brilliant cushion. First touch sets it up. The second one, he just guides it home. He almost passes into net.
Now Mork. The 1-2 does come off with Kamau. McCormack uses Fitzgerald. Cut back. Kamau! He's got a double! His first career double in the A-League. And does that seal all 3 points on opening night?
As he plays a little 1-2, goes a bit, and I'm thinking he's going to pull the trigger here. Right decision for Nick Fitzgerald. Puts it on the plate. There is a big deflection there. Doesn't help Theo. Fitzgerald, they just lose him. I mean, he was on the right-hand side at the start of this whole movement. He feeds it to Kamau.
And they can be in. McCormack lifting it over the top for Kamau. We produced 2 of those moments last week. Fitzgerald behind him. They've got a few numbers in the box here. Here's a chance. Oh, there's a goal, and it's a stunner. What a strike. And it's a thunderous hit by the pole.
Well, 2 minutes into a derby in Poland. Took him 5 minutes here, but his first touch, and what a touch. Brilliantly found in the end. Again, you said you could get stung by this.
Fitzgerald should be able to run it clear. And Kamau, and the counter very much on now for City. McCormack is keeping level with Bruce Kamau. He might not need him. Still Kamau! In it goes, courtesy of the deflection. And just like that, Melbourne City lead once once again. And Bruce Kamau has his third goal in 2 games.
Well, they've been under the pump, City, but there's nothing like a counter-attack. One of the quickest players in the league. He doesn't look like he's moving terribly quickly, but no one can reel him in. It's Carl Valeri chasing. 3 in 2 weeks for Brucey K.
2 men for Keegan Smith guarding that near post. It's a fair way out. Ross McCormack is going to blast it and scores! He's off the mark in the Hyundai A-League, the Scots. And Warren Joyce will be hoping it's the first of many. And I'm sure Steve Bruce will be keeping an eye on his progress as well.
For a relief as much as anything, a long way out from goal. It doesn't have to negotiate a wall. Keegan Smith very obviously disappointed that he couldn't stretch enough. It's a very clean strike, had a lot of pace on it.
Little glance off the post to help it on its way. And the big Scotsman.
What sort of wall had Wellington set up, if anything?
It'll break again for the City left fullback. Behind him is Jakobsen. Square of the day is Osama Malik, and he spotted the run of Stefan Mork. Where's it going to drop? On the roof of the goal, but there's going to be a penalty awarded for the challenge by Paul Izzo on Stefan Mork.
And gives the spot kick. The ball floated, a great run from Mork, and
He is late. Yeah.
He's very late and careers into the back of Stefan Mork, who's got all his eyes on the ball, so he's no idea what's going to happen here.
It's Ross McCormack. And it is 1-0 for Melbourne City. And it's 2 goals in a week for the Scotsman, who's started to find his feet in Australia and find those goal-scoring boots as well. No question of that. It's Ross McCormack. It's 2. It's a beauty. It's Supermac for Melbourne City. What a hit.
Look at that, over the wall, and he gets a hand to it, Izzo, but he can't keep that out. Just look at the positioning of Izzo. Maybe just slightly off his line, but there's no blame on him for that. That is a beautiful free kick, because Izzo's doing the right thing. He's protecting the other side.
Can he save the spot kick? Ross McCormack, frustration over. Melbourne City equalise through their Scotch.
The game continues. City very much in the ascendancy. There's room here for Stefan Mork. Angle is narrow, but he scores at the near post. Jamie Young beaten. Melbourne City back in the game. And Stefan Mork
beaten at his near post. That's where you've got to make sure he doesn't beat you. If he goes across you, scores the other side, you hold your hands up. That's poor goalkeeping from Jamie Young, who is a goalkeeper in fine form.
I'm ready, sorting out his wall. Which way will McCormack go? Ross McCormack! 3 free kicks already this season. The return of the Mac. And he says to Warren Joyce, you should be playing me each and every week.
I've seen so many of his free kicks from that distance, and quite often this is the end result. He dispatches that quite low into the right-hand corner. Reddy's not to blame because he set up his wall. It's just the quality of the free kick that's beat him.
More to Fitzgerald, bending one around. Keeper taken out of it, penalty. McCormack was bowled over by Nigel Bogart. The referee doesn't need the VAR. Ross McCormack, the set-piece specialist, does not muck around. Smashes it down the middle, and it's back to 1-1. If we get our breath back, we'll be able to take them on, but nearly an error pounced upon there as Shabal left it behind. Mork brings it down, gets it to Fitzgerald, and here comes Jamison. That run rewarded, and around the corner goes Jamison, teeing up Nick Fitzgerald, who tried to place it. It was going wide. Now it's a chance. Matty Muscat. He loves playing the Newcastle Jets at this venue at that end.
From Jamison, who does brilliantly. The Fitzgerald shot's going wide. That one isn't. From Matty Muscat, roof of the net. Brilliant from Jamison. A good second half from Melbourne City. Newcastle should have been clear after half an hour, and now they're behind with a couple to go.
Dean Bazanis has had a very quiet evening so far. It's a lovely release. Here's Bratton, bit of space opening up. Puts it into the path of McCormack! First goal from open play for Ross McCormack. The deadlock is broken just before the hour mark, and it's the Scotsman with his 7th goal of the season.
Well, in one sense, it's a drought breaker. It's a beautiful ball from Bazanis. And then Bratton links with Fitzgerald. His contribution was telling. Beautiful from Luke Bratton. And McCormack from open play, his first one as an A-League player, separating the Mariners from Melbourne City here at Amy Park.
Pre-game interview, a bit more work to do defensively. Jakobsen drills it in low. There's the opening goal, isn't it? Over the line, was it? No. Well, Luke Bratton thinks he scored. We don't have goal line technology. We do have the VAR. I'm sure they'll be looking at that. My first instinct was that ball was across the line. But Sean Evans wasn't sure. He didn't get any indication from his linesman. And on we go for the time being at least.
Yep.
That's a goal.
Goal. Clear goal.
VAR rules it a Melbourne City opener, I'm sure. Yeah. This is Bratton. Finds the gap for Fitzgerald. Atkinson pushing forward on the right. Low cross. Oh, and it's in at the back post by Ross McCormack.
And then Atkinson bombs on. What about this for a first-time ball? Janjetovic, does he get a touch? Well, he doesn't get enough on it, even if he did. It's not his fault. It's the perfect cross. Maybe a slight deflection initially, but McCormack gets his 2nd goal from open play at the back post. He almost falls over it. It doesn't matter. It's into the back of the net. He's probably worried about that post, but what a ball from Atkinson.
Here's Arzani. Has provided little spark Melbourne City have had. Across the face, and there it's Ross McCormack. And just like that, Melbourne City are all square.
Well, you said they needed the spark, and it's Arzani that's proved it. I mean, the only one really, and he has the confidence to go around, and it's a deflection off a Wellington defender, but McCormack, as a good striker does, like he did last week, just gambles on that ball maybe coming through to the back post, and he gets himself a tap in.
Marcelo Karuska. Rossi watched it all the way, but his head is dropped kindly for Vidicic. Into the path of Arzani, trying to bend it, and McCormack! And there's no flag, and Ross McCormack has a double. Wellington appeal in vain for an offside flag that never came.
Let's have a look at it. And now Arzani comes back.
He's
onside.
Well onside.
Well onside. What a terrific delivery from Arzani. And what an impact off the bench. And Ross McCormack, he is so important to City at the moment.
McCormack did score a great free kick against the Glory earlier on this season. And it is McCormack who tries to curl it in. And Ross McCormack has scored another sensational free kick. What a stunner for the 2nd time this season from the set piece. McCormack has scored a great goal.
Well, the angle was against McCormack. You had to think it'd be Jakobsen perhaps to take it. But he has bent that superbly over the top of the wall. Ready, diving desperately to his left to get there. Perhaps got fingertips on it, but it had enough pace.
Going past Walker, through Andreu, and the referee points to the spot. The contact was made. Arzani split between the 2 defenders. And a big moment in this match. And we'll get it checked by the VAR. Look at the work from Daniel Arzani.
Quick feet from Arzani. Andreu catches him. It looks a fairly clear-cut one. Oh.
And McCormack again scoring. He's got a brace. City make it 2. And double their advantage inside the first half.
Penalty area. That's a beautiful touch from Jamison. He finds McCormack and he places it home. A striker at the peak of his powers, the fastest ever in a rookie season to 13 goals. But put it down to Scott Jamison. What a lovely little move from the left back to tee up to Scott.
Beautiful move, cuts inside, and then again a beautiful pass there. Great turn See that instinctive turn and strike there from Ross McCormack through the legs of Golek and into the back of the net.
And this is what they've really been hoping for out of Ross McCormack as well. So many goals from set pieces, but now one from open play, and that was predatory when McCormack was in the vicinity. Fitzgerald. And now the strike. Oh, Bajinski, the marquee man, delivers. And it's back to 2-2. The Mariners just cannot keep their nose in front and credit the 10-man Melbourne City for their perseverance. But there is a complaint, and it's no goal. They're celebrating. I'm sorry, Bajinski, but the goal won't count. The assistant says an offside City player has affected play, put off the goalkeeper, so the goal won't stand. Did it have any impact, Sash Ognanovsky? We wait to see.
See, that's what the VAR's for. We can't see anything there in that one. There's nothing wrong with that one.
Here we go. So there's multiple players offside. Does it touch any of them? Does it touch that player on the ground who's onside?
I don't know. It looks like a goal to me.
You can't be taking that off them, surely. So Malik is prone. He's onside. Touches his boot. The goal does stand now. Take two. The VAR's had a word. Strebre Delovsky, and he said to Adam Kersey, overrule what you did there because the goal stands. It is 2-2.
Alzani gets around Ocheng and squares it up for Marcin Bajinski. Deflection goal, City. Marcin Bajinski, 2 in a week.
Well, I like the short corner routine. And look, it's like moss to a flame. 4 effectively attracted to Arzani, which frees up the space. It was healthily deflected. Not enough to, I'd say, take the goal off Bajinski, but enough certainly to throw Margush off the scent.
Well, that's his forte, isn't it? Bounce won't beat Nick Fitzgerald. Rather Jamison. Here's Fitzgerald. It's well worked between the two of them. Fitzgerald. They're only back goal side, but he can't prevent the cross. Vidicic, and then the first bite at it by Bajinski was weak. The second one was planted into the back of the net. But the key to it was Fitzgerald and Jamison in the first instance.
Yeah. Vidicic, it's onside. There was a call from Adelaide that it was going to be offside, but it's a fair goal. Scrappy as it was, a good assist from Dario Vidicic and a good second effort from Bajinski.
Bouncing ball favours Malek. Regan went flying through the air. Hooked back over his head by Fitzgerald. Set for Vidicic. Oh, what a goal that is! That's one of the strikes of the season. Dario Vidicic with a bullet. What a hit.
Well, he's certainly got the talent, Dario Vidicic. Blast to really nail it. Here he goes again.
Could be more damage here. Dario Vidicic to place it. He's got a double. It's 4 for Melbourne City. Here's Vidicic. Ross McCormack. Oh, goodness me. That's even better than Vidicic's. World class from Ross McCormack.
In this extra time period, the end of the 90 minutes, Vidicic another assist. Really, or a secondary one at least. That is brilliant from McCormack, who off the bench, let's not forget, hit the crossbar with a beautiful chip, but there's nothing subtle about this.
Jack Duncan waiting on the line. Arzani. Parity restored. And this bright young prospect is on the scoreboard. Duncan went the right way, but Daniel Arzani makes it Melbourne City 1, Newcastle Jets 1.
Well, it really was reckless play here from Georgescu. There's no need to dive into this challenge like that. Jets had enough numbers. Recovering, Top or Stanley was there, but certainly a well-taken penalty here from Ozani.
Bratton has to roam wide. Vidicic! City level. Duncan lost it in the air, and Dario Vidicic was there to capitalise. Big finish coming up. It's 2-2 at Amy Park.
Well, as Bratton had got himself in a wide area and just whipped in a fantastic ball into Vidicic.
He's helped him get clear of Christensen. He rolls it into the path, and it should be the equaliser, and is for Marcin Budzinski. And Daniel Arzani turns provider again, this time for the Polish marquee, and Brisbane Roar's lead lasted only 4 or so minutes.
A little bit of fortune favours Arzani by the rebound, but he makes the most of it. It's a driving run through midfield, and no one was prepared really to try and stop that flow. Head up, bit between the teeth. The young Australian who feeds it through to the pole. It's a good finish from Budzinski.
One for Budzinski to chase. Oh, they've got in a mess here, Brisbane. 3 of them around the ball for Brisbane. They couldn't clear it. The crossing Mork! Melbourne City make them pay cash. And Stefan Mork scores just his 2nd goal of the season.
This is Jamie Young's ball. He needs to determine that a long time earlier. Still, they had to set it up. It's a terrific cross. And Stefan Mork, this needs to be his trademark, Stefan Mork, arriving into the box, a la Tim Cahill the Great, and finishing teams off. This was a brilliant counter-punch from Melbourne City. Brisbane Roar got themselves in all sorts of hot water and have paid the ultimate price.
Looking forward to getting to the sheds. Here's Arzani, maybe a late chance here for City. Daniel Arzani! What a goal for Melbourne City to open the scoring here at NIB Stadium. The 2nd goal for Daniel Arzani, and what a goal it was.
Nice ball forward early. He's got the pace to get on the ball as soon as he stands Jubilic up there and comes inside. But to finish that way, stick it in that top pocket, absolutely fantastic from the young boy, and something he can remember because it's a cracking finish.
Here's a real live wire for Melbourne City, and he sparked life into the match tonight.
And still, Arzani finds the gap. Vidicic. And now perfect hand ball against Broxham. Chris Griffiths-Jones says yes. Penalty, Melbourne City. Broxham can't believe it. Can he square the ledger? He can, emphatically. He's back, the Uruguayan, and it's 1-1.
Penalty every day of the week. And there, he's just got to let him cross it. They've got plenty of numbers in the box. And he's made the decision very, very easy for the referee, and you don't stop that. That's a bullet, a missile into the top, into the roof of the net.
Jamison looking to do just that. And not enough contact to go down. Fornaroli keeps it alive for Jamison. Arzani bending one. Timed away to Mork. It's back to 1-1. The championship winner with the Reds in 2016.
Well, it's really good play here from Fornaroli, just regaining possession. And the ball comes back out to Arzani. What a lovely ball in that is. Just over the top of Fornaroli. It breaks loose for Stefan Mork. And he makes no mistake.
Counter-attack is on. Thwaite chasing. Arzani. Perhaps the man to make something happen. Sits up. Fornaroli!
What a superb work here from Atkinson. Lovely counter-attack, just attacking space and releasing into Arzani. And he just floats it in, gets the lucky touch off Lorente. And
just whips this one into the box. And Atkinson is in there as well.
Arzani and Bratton cooking up something. Jakobsen! City double their lead.
Oh, just short corner. What a ball that is. Tremendous run there from Jakobsen. Superb delivery from Bratton. Jakobsen finds a bit of space. There's a lot more expected of him tonight. He certainly didn't deliver.
Fornaroli, however, has one goal, and now the layoff. What a strike, what a goal, Stefan Mork!
Well, it was just lovely play here from City. The ball played in to Fornaroli. Superb link-up play with Mork. Tremendous finish. This is absolute superb play from Fornaroli, weaving some magic.
To be a goal.
Now a chance again. Fornaroli! He's got this one!
Well, he forced the corner because of that brilliant volley, and now he's just in the right place. And Newcastle can hardly feel aggrieved at the scoreline. It's been a thoroughly dominant Melbourne City, and one of the league's best strikers is there on the spot to make it 1-0 and to confirm their dominance.
A little bit harps, you know. He's getting carried away up here. Oh, header! And the goal! 2 to the good. Dario Vidosic gets on the end of that one.
Very dangerous in the air. This is pretty routine. And Vueta is providing nothing other than witch's hat defending it. How passive can you be? It's not a training ground run. You've got to get up and muscle. Fitzgerald making the most of.
Arzani having a bit of banter with Georgievski, and the free kick is a special one. Dario Vidosic, another double for him. He's having quite the season and turning into a wonderful addition for Melbourne City.
Wow, it's a stunning free kick from Dario Vidosic, who makes it a brace. A picture of concentration and technique. Jack Duncan with no hope. Hit City on the counter-attack.
Oh, that's a risky ball by Barrow. Could cost the Mariners. Mork can't make progress. Back with Jamison. Fornaroli! Wonderful! What a hit from Bruno Fornaroli. Absolutely superb. Into the bottom corner.
Fornaroli, dummy to start with. A poor clearance from the Mariners, which wasn't a clearance at all. It was a straight turnover. And from nothing, really, a standing start. Bruno Fornaroli hits the dropping ball into the bottom corner, and Ben Kennedy can do nothing to stop it.
The Phoenix back now in numbers. Vidosic. Back to Vidosic, the shot this time. What a goal from Dario Vidosic. It's a belter. In fact, it's Fornaroli who's hit it, not Vidosic. Bruno Fornaroli has smashed that in on the angle off the post. It's a cracker.
What a strike from Fornaroli. Gets a bit of luck there because the ball just ricochets beautifully, sits up nicely for him. But boy, Ollie Sale, absolutely no chance. In off the post. And he's just ripped that one from the far side of the box to give his side the lead. What a strike that one is.
Those two solid banks of four on top of one another for Brisbane. McCormack did enough. Hingett thought about letting it run, forced the play out and turns it over in a dangerous spot. Fornaroli, chance! There is the opening goal, and it comes from Stefan Mork. City strike first in the final.
And to capitalise, this is going out for a goal kick. Look at Fornaroli's smarts here. He just waits for the half look from Hingett, then ducks around the blind side, makes Hingett play at it, then Hingett slips over, and then it's all on for Melbourne City, and they get the goal they deserve. It's well done from Stefan Mork. Such a big part of his game that's developing, breaking out of midfield. But that's pure intelligence, football intelligence.
Could they be heading for the corner flag? Melbourne City, they're looking for a second goal. Vidosic again cuts inside. Fitzgerald at the back post. Fitzy! Melbourne City are in the week 2 of the finals. They Jets next Friday night. Well, what a great goal to win it. Vidicic, beautiful dribble, round the time, Christensen, sensational cross, and what about the timing of the run? From the substitute, Nick Fitzgerald, right on the spot, and bang!
Decent ball around the corner. It's a wonderful ball by Jamison. Chance here. It's in. That man again, Bruno Fornaroli. He scores in 7 straight games against the Jets. He's Newcastle's nemesis. 10 in 7 against them, and a priceless goal. It may have looked scrappy, but it counts for City.
Look at the inside-out ball. Georgieski beaten. Great speed from Vidicic. Beautiful ball as well. Topol Stanley does as well as he can in that no-win situation to try and hook the ball clear, and it's Fornaroli who just gets his body in the way, and fortune falls the way of Melbourne City thereafter.